All right, all right, all right. We are live. I mean, some of us are live, some of us are Memorex, but it's the Gospel of Comics, and we're waiting for our guest, who got his invite to the show because there's another Canadian Shield coming out. Are you excited for Canadian Shield?
I mean, I like Rick. I have not had the pleasure of reading the Canadian Shield, but I am a fan of the Canadian Shield's biggest other fan, the Buckler. So,
I mean, I think they really need to do a Canadian Shield Buckler team up book
yes.
where where it's like an odd couple scenario where Felix was the fastidious one, where like the Canadian Shield is all Felix about it. I think it was Felix was the fastidious one, and the
Right.
Buckler is a murderous psychopath.
I mean, it is the Buckler.
It is the Buckler. I, however, have some comics to tide us over until Church pops in or Rick pops in, and after that we'll segue to some stuff. But you said you wanted to talk about James Gunn for a minute.
Yes, I want James Gunn to die in a fire because he can't keep his fucking mouth shut. Yes, we are 1 minute in, and we have already failed on keeping our mouths clean for YouTube. Uh, I was just laying this out to a friend of mine because my friend of mine had heard how acceptable the Superman movie was, right? And he was enthusiastic about some of the things. And so I had to explain to him the plot line about Superman's parents leaving him a message and that message being corrupted and Lex Luthor finding it and then turning it over and it's clearly doctored. And we talked about this last week when we talked
Well,
about the
no,
film.
no, no. The movie expressly said it wasn't Doctor.
Right, but the thing is, the movie said it wasn't doctored in such a way that there's room for doubt. There was room for interpretation. Because I don't care if Mr. Terrific says, well, I know these guys, and they're totally legit. It's like, thanks, Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I don't trust government laborers to decode alien technology. Get fucked,
It
right?
wasn't Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was Darwin.
Well, I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson has done horrible things, like actually named the star that Krypton is around, and
Yeah.
he just ruins things.
The the important thing is that there was every reason in the world to believe that Lex Luthor doctored this footage or produced bullshit or somehow manipulated someone to lie. There were all kinds of outs. And James Gunn went on an interview and told us all, no, no, for real, Superman's family told him to come to Earth and throw a super harem. Because James Gunn is a fucking moron.
Well, I didn't want to give away my secret identity so early, but yes, that's exactly what my Kryptonian parents told me before I came to this dirtball, and I have
Okay,
been
but my
super successful
look,
at it.
look, it's what my Kryptonian parents told me, but my regular Earth parents told me I couldn't do that. So I don't know,
Yeah,
but
fuck them Earth parents.
but but the thing is, this is the
What am I
the
gonna cry about some
perfect
old broad named Martha?
this is the perfect crystallization though of something we've been
Uh,
talking about forever. Okay, all James Gunn had to do was say nothing. Okay, not even say, well, it's your own interpretation. When somebody says, well, was it Lex Luthor, did he doctor it, you say, well, I think the film speaks for itself, and then you just let it the fuck go, because we'll do the bitching over here in our fanosphere forever. We'll argue about it, coming to no clear deliberation, and you're scot-free. You don't have to justify shit. But
well, no,
now that he has gone on
no.
the record and said
The the
that
T in T sphere stands for testosterone.
but now that he
Also,
has gone on the
also,
record,
Joe,
yeah.
Scott Free's Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle's not even in this movie.
Haha, lore. But
Much much like you would be expected to think, he was just in the background breaking people out of prison, like Superman.
right, but here's the thing: because James Gunn has now gone on the record that this is so, Now he's held accountable to it. Now he has to justify it. He has unequivocally, publicly stated that Kal-El's parents, some of the nicest, most unambiguously idealistic people in the galaxy, in DC Comics, in all comics,
Well,
are
now,
world raping conquerors. They,
well, hold
as I
up.
said to my friend, Jor-El might as well be Zod now.
Well, hold up. Rune, they fucked with Jor-El a lot, all the time. It's because they suck. Aha! Our special guest is here.
Save
Oh,
us, Rick.
oh, hello.
Save us, Rick.
Save you from what?
James
We were
Gunn.
talking about Superman, and Rune had some anger issues.
I mean, I am known to have issues.
Okay. What did you find so bad about it? I went and saw it
The-
on Tuesday.
The whole rape them, Kal-El, rape them all.
Oh yeah,
message.
I did not like what they did to his parents. Yeah, I'll agree that was nasty.
And it was meaningless. But let's talk about something meaningful. Let's talk about the Canadian Shield.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And sorry, I was a couple minutes late.
Yeah,
I was watching something on YouTube and didn't realize the time. And
So
then
this
I-
is your third. This is your third Canadian Shield, right, Rick?
Yeah, third Canadian Shield, but
So-
fourth book.
So how have each of your previous campaigns done?
Well, the first one done the best. The second one did all right. It could have done better. Well, I guess the first one could have done better too, but did not do as good as the first one. I'll say that. But I'm not complaining. I got 2 books out in my second campaign, so Canadian Shield 2 and Snowdrift number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's
And-
not doing too bad so far, but it's on a new
And-
platform.
And do you have the link?
Yeah.
Can
Just,
Can you send us the link in the private chat
yeah.
so
just
that we
give me
can
a-
share it with the people?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many
There.
people are going to see this, but
Yeah.
we
I know
want-
you
we want
guys
the
don't have a
people.
big audience, but sometimes you have some people that
We-
come by and all
we
that.
used to back in the day.
I mean-
before.
No, we didn't.
Okay, no, we didn't.
Okay, you had a slightly bigger audience. Not a huge audience, but a slightly bigger.
Look, don't judge me because I'm beautiful.
You're beautiful.
All right, here's the link
I'm a big
for
man.
the folks who are watching. But yeah, so give us the summary for anybody who doesn't remember Canadian Shield 1 or 2 or Snowflame. What's going on?
Well,
What's going on?
Canadian Shield is a native Canadian or American, however you want to word that, from about the early 1800s. He's transported through time by God, and he's from the Hamilton, Ontario area originally back in his time, but he's transported up in the middle of nowhere in Canada, on northern Ontario. So there's no culture shock, there's gonna be enough culture shock as he gets introduced to stuff, but at least it's not down. At least it's not downtown Hamilton, where there's 20 billion things going on and to really confuse them. But a suit made in the future that gives people or whoever the wearer is superhuman powers similar to Superman, not quite all, but similar, is also taken through time, back through time. In its case, since God can, see the future and interact with what we would consider the future, and he brings it to exactly where he transported it. Canadian Shield is modern days, and an angel appears to him, tells him, put on the suit and go south. And then he starts learning all about it. Issue 2, he fought his first villain, and issue 3, we are fighting a villain again. And I'm frozen.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
I mean, that can happen with cameras sometimes. But can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Now, I did not know about the Canadian Shield as a geographical feature.
Yes, as well. That's where I got the idea for the name. But I thought it'd make a great superhero name.
I mean, it is a good superhero name. Are you guys familiar with the Canadian Shield as a geographical feature?
I am not.
I actually learned about this recently in a video explaining on how it would be next to impossible for other countries to invade the United States, and the Canadian Shield is actually a part of that. The Canadian Shield, also called the Laurentian Shield or the Laurentian Plateau, is a geological shield, a large area of exposed Precambrian, igneous, and high-grade metamorphic rocks. It forms the North American Craton, or Laurentia, an ancient geological core of the North American continent. Glaciation has left this area with only a thin layer of soil. So basically, it's a lot of rock, very little dirt.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's a huge expanse, right? It goes from like way up in the Arctic down to just part of, there's a little bit of the states that is in it. But, it's super big. It's really durable. It's sort of like the Canadian Shield himself, my character, is like the living embodiment of it. And I did that without even trying. Thinking about it.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to bring that up. I'm like going, well, that's kind of clever. And I'm sure because you're from Canada, you probably learned about that in school. And that idea was probably sitting in the back of your head.
I know I learned a little bit about it. I think when I created them, I forgot all about that and all that. I just I knew about it. I thought, like I said, I thought it was going to be a great name for a superhero. The funny thing is, the name itself is public domain. Anybody can make a hero, or I guess a villain, or character, we'll say, called Canadian Shield. None of them can do it how I've done it because mine's copyrighted.
That's right. So give us the elevator pitch for the Canadian Shield Part 3. What's going on?
Well, we introduced a new supporting cast member, who is a cop from where he ended up at the end of last issue when he helped to stop a nuclear meltdown because of a villain invading a power plant in the area, wanting to destroy it. And well, he's talking to him, giving him the lowdown on his thing, and then he ends up going to church, and then he ends up facing off against another villain at this power plant who has absorbing powers. He can absorb various forms of energy and then redistribute them. One way is by some laser beams from his eyes, which can incinerate somebody. And in fact, that's what calls Canadian Shield to the scene.
I just need to interject here. No one's come to me. You said he went to church. He did. I have yet to see anybody.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah. And hello, Tim. But yeah, so he ends up incinerating. He gets in an argument with somebody at work, and unknowingly, he doesn't know he has these powers. He gets mad. That thing if looks could kill. Well, his look did kill because suddenly beams came out of his eyes and burned the guy to a crisp. And so a fight ensues, and they battle it out. And I'm not going to say what the end is because people will need to read it to find that out.
Exactly. Hey, Church, could you pull up the vidya there that's there, the YouTube vidya, so that we can the YouTube campaign video, so we can listen to it?
Yeah, it's just
the thing I have on screen right now.
Yeah, exactly the thing you have on the screen.
Yeah,
it's almost like we're professionals and we know what we're doing.
Oh my God, who lied to you?
Well, I mean, almost. Almost is doing a lot of work there.
A man being transported through time by God. An angel appears telling him put on a nearby suit. And after that he must travel south. The suit on he is endowed with incredible powers. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. Another man wanting in his life. Canadian shield saves him in the nick of time.
Oh shit, it's John Redcorn.
No reasons to live. With this, the man goes on to live many more days. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. A villain appears and threatens many. Canadian shield rush to the scene. A battle ensues and blows are traded. The Canadian shield wins and many are saved. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need.
So I dig the song. I really dig the song.
Yeah, well, the music is AI. I came up with the words myself. Just sort of, overview of different things, that happen, like him getting the powers, saving the guy in the first issue, and battle with the villain in issue 2, which technically could be used for any villain, right?
So, was there like a similar sort of cultural context for like the animated superhero cartoons? Because the aesthetic feels vaguely like the stuff that came out in the late 60s to early 70s before the stuff kind of kicked off. Did you have stuff like that in Canada that you were enjoying?
Oh yeah. Like, well, I seen reruns of 60s stuff, like I seen, Spider-Man, the 60s Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
The
I
old
watched
Fantastic Four, another good one.
That I don't think I seen as a kid. But I've heard about it. I think I've seen a little bit. But I watch Super Friends, I watch Transformers, G.I. Joe. I know those more 80s. I watched T-Man. But I did watch a lot of, I guess 60s and 70s stuff and more in reruns than anything.
Yeah, did any of that inspire your artistic decision making?
I'm probably sure it did, but not consciously. Not that I can remember. Like I've always said, I want to try and get the best of all the various ages of comics, as they've called them. There's good stuff about good and bad stuff about all. Like the beginning of it, the art wasn't all that best, and even the storylines weren't that best. I've been going over a lot of older ones with a friend of mine, Mike. He reads old comics on Sunday nights, usually from 8 to about 10. So I'm there once a month or once every somewhat number of weeks with him reading. So, you get to learn a lot about the old comics and all that.
When will we learn what happened to that tree?
I have no idea. The tree was not in my preview to do anything with till everybody made something of it. And actually, that points me out. I was reading with my friend Mike, I think last week, and we were reading Archie. There's a character Firefly, I think, in it. He threw a tree into space first.
So I've got the we do want Space Tree. That's very good. I see here the reward tiers you've got set up on the campaign. So for $100 plus shipping,
Canadian even.
Yeah,
So
that's $450 American, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh,
no, that would be.
or wait, no, is it $7 American? It's $7 American.
Hold up.
Probably more like 75.
So 100 Canadian dollars is currently, as of today, 72.82 US dollars.
Okay, so it's $8 American. You can be drawn into the book in the church setting. What I want to know, Rick, is how you intend to draw me into the book if I donate 100 Canadian. How are you going to fit a church inside of the church?
Oh, it'd be a mini church, right?
No. It'd have to be full size. I get what I pay for, man.
And technically, the church is not the building. The church is the body of Christ.
So how are all these people inside of Christ?
Uh,
So we get a $5 digital shield option. That's pretty good. Pretty standard there. 15 Canadian. Well, again, that's like 85 cents American. So 15 Canadian, you get a physical copy. I do love this cover art. The reflection.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. I'm getting some G.I. Joe bad guy vibes, and I love it.
This cover was done by Chris Tevelevich from Hero Shack.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure whether I think he's been on here with you guys before. He has the great.
I believe so.
So yeah, when I was doing number 2, I got him to do up the cover for number 3 because I put in the back of it an ad for coming in 2023. It's a couple of years late because my life went to shit in August of 2023 at the end.
That's understandable. So that's $20 Canadian. You get a autographed copy, so you can forge Rick's signature on bank documents. For $10 Canadian, you get a remastered First Canadian Shield. Now, when you remastered the book, was it because you wanted to make changes, or were you just out of the first copy and wanted a clear denotation between the original copy and the second version?
Both.
Okay. Fair
you know,
enough.
I knew I was going to be coming up on getting rid of them, and I wanted to brighten the colors up a lot, and then I tweak some of the art just to make it a stand out a little bit better, you know.
And then we have Canadian Shield number 2 for $10 Canadian plus shipping. You have the bundle, which will actually save you a few dollars on the new comic if you buy the original 2. So if you're getting in a Canadian Shield for the first time on this campaign, the option is there for you.
Yeah, and you save a little bit on shipping too.
The Lorenzo, which has become a popular tier for Lorenzo Sleestack, who likes to buy 2 copies of a certain version.
Yeah.
You get 2 signed copies for $25. It's a $5. No, that's a That's
a $15 savings.
That's a $15 discount. So for $5 extra, you can get 2 forged documents for banks. You get $2 Canadian, which, folks, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually, he has to pay you American money to buy this Canadian digital comic book. Pretty sure that goes into negative American money. So you can get 1 and 2 digitals,
Church,
or for seven total, you can get all 3 in digital. Go ahead, Rick.
Church, let's call it correctly. It doesn't go into negative American money. It goes into pesos.
Ooh. Ooh, so it's like 18 peso. I understand.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, international conversion always trips me up. But those are the contribution tiers here on Fund My Comic. I'm actually not as familiar with Fund My Comic as I was
Indiegogo. Yeah.
So
well, I figured
I've been out. Well, I've been out of the comic sphere a little while, and I've heard that Indiegogo's been under a little bit of fire from some of the creators because of censorship issues and whatnot.
Yeah, and
Is
that's
that
one
is that a
reason.
thing that's still going on?
I'm not sure completely, but it's one reason I decided to go with Fund My Comics. Plus, Fund My Comics was made by one of us, Luke Stone. He's a creator, and he's into all that. He got tired of the bull that was going on with Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So he said,
Yeah.
what? I'm just going to make my own for people, and the platform fees are lower. Everything's a little lower. Prices.
I mean, here's that's the ultimate secret is people consistently are like, well, you have to use these big options or just go make your own, and then they are completely gobsmacked when somebody does it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, although
here's
long before that was said, I was trying to make Canadian Shield.
Right.
so here's an important question that really matters. You've not gone broke making Canadian Shield.
No, luckily
You've not lost money.
I probably have lost a little bit of money, but
Any endeavor of passion is something that you're going to lose money on.
Oh, sure.
You know this.
yeah.
Sure, but I mean,
I recently took my my Magic the Gathering collection to a card shop locally because I can't anymore with the current state of the game.
Yeah.
And I watched as someone kind of looked through my tens of thousands of dollars worth of investment in Magic cards and said, it might be around 2K. Give me about a week to look through it. So you're gonna lose money on any passion project, but
Yeah.
it's not losing so much money that you become discouraged in doing it, and that's what's
That's the
important.
important part.
Yeah,
That's
well,
important.
The other thing too is usually I take some of my own money, and I take usually whatever I'm getting with the campaign, I take whatever might be proper for me. Like I could print up exactly what I needed, or maybe a few copies more. I don't just do that. I grab a whole bunch.
Rick, check your mic settings. You're coming in and out on your microphone, so it drops real low. Sometimes it falls out.
I had it over a bit, and my voice is a bit crackly too. That might be
Okay.
it, because I got the last couple of days. I sort of got a little bit of a cold in my throat, so
Stop dying, Rick Piper. Quit it.
And
So,
maybe I'm not. But like when I do these campaigns, I don't order exactly what I need to fulfill. I usually order quite a bit more because like I want to be able to go to cons and sell them there, get more people, or just sell them to people that I know that, hey, I do Christian comic book. Oh wow, you want one? Here, give me $5.
Now let me ask you this, and this is just from an outsider's perspective, but what if you, instead of just focusing on doing the print over for cons, you split that between overprinting for cons and maybe doing an ash can that you can hand out to people just for nothing.
Well, speaking of ash cans, if you go right down to the bottom of my campaign here, want to scroll down, please?
I'm going. It takes a minute, man. The website's not perfect.
I actually am doing it. No, down. You were there. This one here, that is part of a 4-page ash can that I am getting done up to go for free. It was written by me. And the artwork is done by Alpha Proto. I'm not sure whether you know who he is or not, but he's on my channel quite a bit.
But yeah, that's a perfect medium to not only, promote your book, get people interested in maybe coming back after they flip through to buy the full book, but it also, on the inside of the back cover, you can print all your social media links or a QR code that takes you to your link tree or something. To get people not only interested in the book, but following you on your social media presence
Yeah.
from that
And,
physical interaction. And it's cheaper than business cards when you're already getting comic books printed.
Well, it's probably not cheaper.
Well, you're already getting the comic books printed.
Yeah.
Just do business with one company. Save on the shipping.
The great thing is in Hamilton, where I live, to get the comics printed, so I don't even need shipping.
Yeah, you're very lucky in Hamilton because you just have Detroit just over the bridge.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole bunch of printing companies here in Hamilton, but I found a smaller company that I can work with. The prices are half decent.
Talking
And
about 4M print guys.
no, well,
I'm messing with you.
So
He's talking about that devil company, 4M print. The ones that in
so-
charge is the Chinese laborers.
So Rick, do you remember those guys who did the indie comic about kind of like a 50s kind of superhero who stopped a robbery from the Canadian Maple Syrup Reserve? Do you remember that one that was going around
that
like
I don't
5 years
remember.
ago?
I don't
I mean,
remember that.
That seems like a natural sort of vibe that might fit with a Canadian Shield story.
Yeah, it could, and maybe we'll get there eventually. But I like some corniness, and that's definitely a corny story. But I don't think I could go that corny at some point. But don't think I'm that corny yet. In it.
I mean, it's.
But
what's
if I ever
even
do
funny is-
Space Tree, I'd definitely be really corny.
Well, what's
Well,
funny is
Larry,
that's actually a thing
you're
that happened, though.
Larry, you're missing the actual gold that is available in this particular plot line.
Hmm.
So instead of covering a comic book that happened in the 50s, why don't we cover the Great Canadian Maple Syrup heist that occurred in 2011 and 2012, where
Wait.
over 30 tons of maple
Yes.
syrup were
No,
stolen?
that's a thing. That's a thing that happened in real life. That's absolutely a thing that happened in real
Oh my
life.
god!
Yes, and the Canadian Shield could be involved in that story.
I'm not sure how he would, because he wouldn't have been in our time at that point.
Maybe he was stealing the maple syrup after finding a time travel machine to become rich.
No, the Canadian Shield works for Jesus. He's not going to steal.
Maybe he went back in the time machine to stop the buckler from stealing the maple syrup on a time machine.
Hold up! Now,
Maybe
now
he went back to stop the actual John Dillard.
hold up! Now that sounds like an excellent story. Because I can see the buckler stealing a time machine to steal maple syrup.
Yeah, well, that does sound neat, but unfortunately, that would probably happen in Dillard's universe, which is a separate universe of mine. Although the Canadian Shield is in there, I've loaned him to Dillard for his universe.
Well, look, you gotta remember the informal rules of crossovers. So if the Canadian the Canadian Shield goes to Dillard's verse, he's got to deal with Dillard problems. But if the Buckler comes to the Canadian Shield universe, then the Canadian Shield can kick the Buckler's ass, spank him, tell him to behave himself, and send him home like a naughty child.
Dillard's already said that in his universe, the Canadian Shield can do that.
Okay.
I mean, John Dillard is a prince among men.
He is a prince among men.
He's a prick.
That too.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to bug him to come on the show. I'm hoping he's listening and getting angered so he can come on
Wait,
here.
no shit? Because I just sent him a message like, "Hey Dillard, we're talking to your boy Rick Piper on the show tonight."
yeah.
So do you have you had fulfillment issues with the Canadian Post Office and their seasonal decision to have labor shortages?
I haven't had that problem yet with them. At least not dealing with stuff that I've had to send out for comics, I've probably dealt with it, like just getting mail, regular, but other than that.
I mean,
You know who's really fallen off the wagon is UPS.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
see, I was gonna imply that the person that's really fallen off the wagon is Ethan, but
Oh yeah.
because because I have never heard anyone assert that Rick does not fulfill. That's the thing, and this
Well,
is his
no.
third book. He has a
Well, no,
history
I'm
of successfully fulfilling.
no, I'm just asking because that is a known problem with other Canadian content
Right.
creators, the
Right.
Canadian Post Office.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had a problem with it. I find they can be a bit actually, depending on what I'm sending and where. I find sometimes it's cheaper to send to the States than it is to Canada, because usually when I'm sending something to the States, I can take all the tracking off. But if I'm sending it in Canada, I can't take the tracking off. It's like, really? It costs so much more because of tracking.
Look, I've been told that the Canadian Shield has some extremely dire content in it. Some very dangerous things that the Canadian government has to keep track of, like hope and positivity and fun. And if Justin Trudeau has taught me anything, Canada is a no fun allowed place. You're not allowed to have fun in Canada.
Well, let me just ask the real question here. Are we ever going to get a Bizarro Canadian Shield that puts the cat in the tree?
I'm not sure. I do have plans.
Maybe an American Hopalite.
Yeah. Well, I have created an American Shield. I've created. I wouldn't call them a Bizarro version, but I'd call them the Earth 3 version. The Injustice. Is it Injustice? The Crime Syndicate version. I've created a Crime Syndicate version. I haven't written the history. The guy's name is the Anti-Shield. Now, I guess I could mix them up in between Crime Syndicate version of Superman and Bizarro Superman.
Well, I mean, instead of
as long as he puts the cat back in the tree, because I mean, the Shield didn't know that the cat wanted to come down. Man, the cat could have been fine up there. He might have been meowing in joy.
Instead of a Bizarro Shield, you just call him the Canadian Weirdo.
Yeah. But if you notice too in that thing, the cat has 2 tails.
Oh my god.
And I used a bunch of pictures of mine to try and get a bunch of clips to create all the clips in it for, with an AI animation, So
Yeah, which AI animation did you use? Because I did notice that.
Vidu, VIDU.
Okay. I tried it a little bit ago when it first rolled out. I wasn't particularly happy with it, but it seems like it's refined itself a little bit for your use.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long ago it came out, but I found out about it, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. My buddy, Chris Tilovovich, he told me about it, and I thought it was good enough. I got myself a subscription for a year. So, I'm really liking it. I on the smallest plan for a subscription for the year because I can't afford much more. But
so, what does the future hold for Cross Comics and the Canadian Shield after fulfillment of Canadian Shield 3?
Well, hopefully, within a couple months, I will be doing a campaign for Snow number 2. And then hopefully, again, shortly after Snowdrift number 2 is done and completed, fulfilled, I'll be going on to a new character called the Flame. And then when he's done and fulfilled, hopefully we will be putting out Canadian Shield 4, which Alpha Proto, who is doing the art for the Ashcan, will be doing the art for Canadian Shield 4.
Okay, so you've actually got a little bit of a roadmap. Is there going to be a superhero alliance coming in the future?
Yeah, there will be. I want to get 7 characters out, like, and then each of them have a minimum of 12 issues out. That'll probably mean Canadian Shields at like issue 19 or 18. So that's a
The-
bit off into the future. And unfortunately,
right.
the way crowdfunding, the way things have been going with me, it's a lot further off than I had anticipated when I first created this roadmap for myself.
Yeah, it's all fine and dandy when you're putting it down on paper, but then you get to doing it, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, well, it's
Uh,
also resources, money. Like it. If I got $100
where?
or $200,000 campaign, guess what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where does the number 7 come from? Like I know that's the holy number with the Justice League. The Avengers have kind of always been all over the place, and the X-Men, God knows.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the major numbers in the Bible. Like
Okay.
world 7 days. It rained for 7. No, that was 40 days. There's other sevens.
Yeah, it was.
There's a bunch of numbers, but eventually, well, that's 7 characters. Eventually, I'm gonna have more than that. Once their team book comes out, that'll be 8 books, and then I'm gonna add members to the team that don't have their own books necessarily. And depending on how well certain characters receive once they get introduced in the comics, because I have a bunch of other heroes that are going to get introduced in the comics themselves, and so depending on how well they're received, maybe they'll get their own books eventually. I have my plan, and then I can go by the seat of my pants too, for a bunch of other stuff.
This is kind of a stranger question. I'm sure you might have gotten something similar to this. You've seen a lot of the campaigns where there's an option to buy one and donate to a military charity or something like that. With your background in the church and your Christian overtones in the book, have you considered doing something like that, where if somebody, well, almost like the Lorenzo tier, where you can buy one book to yourself and have one donated towards the pile that gets sent to a church charity or something like that?
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a thing. Usually, if I'm at a church and they have a library, I'll just give them one for free automatically. I don't care. Here, I'll give them one of each issue. Here, here's for your church library. I know. Like I said, I guess I'm not sure how I would go about fulfilling something like that way, because I don't know what churches have church libraries and all that. There's a lot
Well,
more.
there could be research done, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking more of like a charity that takes stuff like that and distributes it a
Yeah.
little further abroad. But it's just a concept that
Yeah.
I've
Definitely.
seen as far as the military stuff goes, and I understand their charity. I'm sure there's something out there like that for
Yeah.
less fortunate kids from the church.
Yeah, for sure. Heck, I'd probably be more than willing just to donate out of my stock. 2 or 3 or
Well,
5.
sure, but I'm sure your fans would be
my
more than
kid-
willing to help you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess before I put up a tier like that, I'd want to, like you said, I probably got to do the research to figure out how that would be done. Because it's something that I don't know about. Oh man. I could probably just take them down to some Christian charity. Like, I guess I could take them to the Salvation Army or something like that, and say, here's a bunch of Christian comics that I'm donating or whatever to go out to kids or whatever. I guess I could do something like that easy enough.
Sure, and the Christian crowd, like I said, they're known for their giving, and I'm sure you're producing this at some sort of a profit. You're not having to pay $20 a book, so if you're able to do two
Yeah.
for 25, then something like that, where you could just drop a stack of them off or something like that. I'm betting your audience would probably be much more suited to that than some of the other audiences out there that aren't so wholesome.
Yeah. Like yours.
So you've got
No.
nah. Well, you're absolutely right. You've got 54 days to go on the campaign. You're 66% of the way there in just 8 days. So I have no doubt in my mind that you're gonna far surpass this goal.
Yeah. And actually, something that might be coming soon. I just recently got a 3D model of the Canadian Shield made, and my library has it so you can print up. I got a 3D printed image. I just got to learn how to rig it so I can pose it. So I might end up having these on the campaign.
Yeah, well, here's what you do. You offer a full figure for a premium, but then you also put the print file up for $2 for people with their own 3D printers.
Oh yeah, there's an idea.
So you're double dipping on that one. You're making your own and sending out to people that don't want to print one, but then you're going to start seeing people that paid for the file that printed their own and altered it and all that stuff, and that's just free advertising.
Yeah, that's definitely an idea. So this only took about just over 4 hours to print, and that's 4 inches tall.
Did it print horizontally or vertically?
Vertically, they had it print vertically.
Okay.
I think that's.
I've got a 3D printer. That's how they print.
Well, you can get it so it would print like that or that. You could tell it which way to print.
But you probably want it to print standing up so that it doesn't get deformation or anything on the back, on the bottom side. The side that's touching the plate is going to be the side that doesn't have detail.
Yeah.
Right.
Which would be his feet?
his beaties. Little Canadian booties.
Yeah, so after I show this off on my channel tomorrow, and I know it's hard to probably see this, all the detail on it with the light and all that. So, I'm not sure how. Well, I did take a couple pictures. Let's see. I put them on what's the name of it? Twitter here.
Oh, you can actually do you have the option? You can just share the. I think he has the option to share. He can just share the screen if he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Window.
One moment. There we go.
All right, and then we can do this number. Yeah.
So you can see a little bit more of the detail there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really be interested in an articulated one too.
Yeah, that's what I want to. Well, I'd like to eventually, but I want to go into Blender, rig him up, and have it so I can pose him in a different way. And that's probably the file that I probably should share. Is
he's got the build of an intercontinental champion in my my Toy Biz wrestling ring.
See what you do, Larry, is you print your own Canadian Shield. You paint it up real nice, and then in the midst of the next time you're running D&D for some people with little minis and shit, you have the Canadian Shield arrive, and you just play it straight, and they're like, "Who is this stranger from another land?"
Yeah,
that's what I would do with it.
Yeah, put the Canadian Shield in the D&D campaign. That would be funny.
I mean, he's clearly a paladin of some sort. He has extreme powers. Don't question it.
But it's not D&D, it's World of Darkness. And then spiders start coming out of his head.
Shut up. Don't judge me.
He's there to battle the spiders.
I mean, he
Not
would.
in Rune's game.
No. The Canadian Shield is too good for my world. He would in fact fight evil.
Oh.
Well, you probably have to give him a different name.
We reach out, we call for a Canadian Shield to save us, but there is none.
There's no
Baldur's
Canada
Gate
in
Shield.
the world,
Baldur's
so-
Gate, Canada, and D&D.
Pardon?
I said Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate's the Canada of D&D, isn't it?
Should be.
The Baldarian Shield? Baldarian Gate Shield?
Boulder's Shield.
I mean, Baldur's Shield already sounds like the D&D magic item.
It really does.
Baldarian's a little too close to Baldo for me, and we just don't want that association with the KO. But Rick, we like the work. We like the consistency. That's always key in comic creation.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to promote about the book or anything like that we didn't get to?
Just, for anybody that's listening after, just, go check it out for yourself. Hopefully you'll like it. Like, if it's your first time getting it, checking it out, there is the catch-up tier. There'll always be a catch-up tier with me,
And you should do it. We're actually going to wait on the Canadian Shield 4 campaign, where we'll have the mustard tier to go along with the ketchup tier. Then, because they don't use either one of those. Well, they don't use either one of those condiments in Canada because of all the poutine they eat.
Right. But what about the level 5 tier, which is the mayonnaise tier?
Ooh. That's when you have 5 books you have to get. So you get the deluxe tier, which is lettuce, tomato, and mayo.
Well, yeah, but I think we all agree the ultimate aspiration is secret sauce tier.
No, it's the meat lovers tier.
Yeah, which is 18.
Where you get everything Rick Piper's ever done in one go, and you have to give him like $10,000 Canadian, which is about $19 American.
Or about 3 million pesos.
Well, we know Church, if he got it, he wouldn't need the whole catch-up tier. He got number 1, but he didn't get number 2 yet, I don't think.
I did not get number 2 yet. I had way too many children way too fast.
Yeah. And how did you like number 1? I forget what your thoughts were on it.
I enjoyed number 1. Number 1 was a lot of fun. It was wholesome comic books. It wasn't stupidly polished, but it was exactly what it set out to be. It was the story of a character. It was an introductory issue. It was to the point.
Yeah. And there's something too, I try not to be overly preachy in it, like it is a faith-based comic book, but I try not to be preachy in it, and I don't think I was too preachy in it. Church, did you find it? Hopefully you didn't find it overly preachy or anything.
I was telling my son good night. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
What was that?
I'm just saying that, in the books, I try not to be overly preachy as well. Yeah, it is a faith-based, I'm upfront about that, there's Christian stuff in it, and I was just getting your your perspective on that.
I've read a lot of books that told me I was going to hell. This is not one of them.
That's
I mean, Church, if you were going to hell, the Canadian Shield would save you.
I don't know.
It's true.
I don't know. He
well, unfortunately, the Canadian
might not send me there, but he doesn't have to save me. Kind of like Batman in that regard.
Yeah, but the other problem is Canadian Shield, unfortunately, as much as he'd want to, couldn't stop that because that's up to somebody else.
Yeah, damn
Who's
Dave in
got a little
accounting.
bit more power.
Well, everybody hates Dave in accounting. All right. Well, with that, we'll probably move past the Canadian Shield portion of the show because I do believe when you came on, my two compatriots were yelling about James Gunn, and we have to set aside a little more time for that. You're more than welcome to join them.
Well,
Okay.
actually,
I don't have an
actually,
opinion
Church-
on the matter.
Actually, Church, there's something better that I found that I posted on the show chat. Let me pull that up here. All right. So I found a Reddit thread about Magic the Gathering.
We're not doing that.
You saw that thread?
Nope. I did. I hate you for it. After about the fourth page, I stopped thinking and said, yeah, I would just concede and we would move on to game 2. And I would side deck in my 40 caliber pistol. Because everything else is a goddamn magic card. Sorry, Rick. Everything else is a magic card now. Why can't my pistol be? In case you don't know, Rick, there's Spider-Man and Sonic the Hedgehog magic cards. Oh, and SpongeBob. And I hate everything about the game that I've been playing for 30 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Okay,
thread
so we need
was,
a Canadian Shield card.
yeah, the thread was create a mandatory deterministic loop that might result in a draw dependent on the resolution of the Collatz conjecture.
No, I'm sorry, Rick. We can't have a Canadian Shield card because a Canadian Shield card would actually be good.
Well, I actually let's talk a little bit more about James Gunn's Superman. I mean, I also have some comics that we didn't get to touch on last show because Superman took up a lot of.
Have you seen Superman, Rick, or are you staying
Yeah,
pure like me?
I saw it on Tuesday. I thought it was great. And now I'm going to be tortured for that.
No, you're not going to be tortured, but Rune might yell a little bit. It's not at you. He's not mad at you, Rick. He's mad at himself.
Yeah. Proceeding the movie. Actually, I saw it with a buddy who's not a big superhero fan, but a little bit, and he liked it. You would probably call it more of a
No,
normal.
I'm not mad at myself. I'm disappointed because I tried to go middle of the road and be reasonable. And James Gunn was like, no, you should have only hated me.
Look, at least he didn't call in Drax to play Superman as Drax. That was kind of what I was hoping for, honestly, is that we would have gotten a swerve right before release, and Dave Bautista would have been Superman as Drax.
No, let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. So Zack Snyder fucked up, and they made Jason Momoa into Aquaman. Okay?
Jason Momoa, yes, I'm familiar.
Right? Jason Momoa is on record as saying he wants to be Lobo.
Well, no, James Gunn's
And-
already recast him as Lobo.
Yeah,
but-
and Lobo is
here's the
amazing, and
Here's the thing.
fucking Jason Momoa is going to be awesome as Lobo.
No, here's the thing. They made some other dink Lobo in that Krypton TV show nobody watched, but because nobody watched it, it might as well have not happened. We'll be fine. Right?
If James Gunn gives us a Last Sons movie, I will love it, and I'm sorry for that, no matter how poor it is.
What James Gunn's gonna do, even though he says he's gonna give Jason Momoa a Lobo, is he's gonna give us Dave Bautista as Lobo. That's what you don't want to live in hope of.
No, I actually would be okay with that. Dave Bautista as Drax playing Lobo would be hilarious.
Okay. I am straining to understand you, but okay.
No, he has to be doing the entire Drax bit the whole time, except as Lobo while smoking cigars.
Right, so it's Lobo messing with Superman for the entire movie.
The entire movie, and Martian Manhunter, because I still want it to be a Last Sons movie. I wanted to have nothing to do with mainline DC continuity. I wanted to be about a rock creature who gains sentience and tries to kidnap the last being from every race, and finds out about Martian Manhunter, Lobo, and Superman, and tries to imprison them for whatever reason to have a museum like the Collector in Marvel. I don't know, but it's a rock man. And
Well, that could be
Par-
Brainiac. Brainiac could do that.
no,
think-
there's an actual story on graphic audio called Last Sons.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
there's
think
a
I
rock
remember
monster
something like
with
that.
there's a rock monster that's basically AI incarnate. He gains sentience and then starts collecting the survivors of lost civilizations and species.
Well,
Yeah, I
if
think
we
I've
wanted-
seen that.
if we wanted to talk about something comics related, we could always talk about this.
Oh,
no,
Mysterio
I
Woman.
well, hold up. I got multiple comics, including one that
Oh,
does feature Mysterio Woman.
I mean, I know you do.
Mr. Cat?
I get that, but this is supposed to be Catwoman from the Absolute
Oh.
Universe.
Oh no, not that Mysterio Woman, the actual good Mysterio Woman.
Yeah, but I just want to be clear. Somebody sat down. There was a room of workers. They all looked at different pieces of art. The little perspective, ideas were given forward, and this is what they freaking decided on.
Well, Root, how is she going to tell your fortune without carrying her crystal ball everywhere?
How am I not going to hit her in the face with a brick because this particular version of Batman is
Because she
insane.
has a crystal ball on her head and you can't hit that hard.
But this Batman is insane. He murdered Killer Croc. He apparently cuts off people's limbs and gouges out their eyes with his bat ears. He's going
And he's
to
going to
murder
nail
them.
this Catwoman while looking in the mirror reflection of her dome head and envisioning having sex with himself. It's going to be awesome.
Wait, is that the secret? Is the secret that the guy came up with this, which I want to say is the other Snyder, Rob Snyder? No, not Rob Snyder. I forget which
No,
guy.
that's the one that's El King's dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the guy that's making comics. He wanted a Catwoman that he could see himself in. Is that the idea?
Gross.
I think so.
Yeah,
You
that
say
is
gross,
so
Larry,
stupid.
but it's gross in a way that you believe that could be the case.
How can this not with this face? She could be almost anything else. Like she could be Dog Girl or Dog Woman.
That's the thing. It's not just that it's a big fishbowl dome head, which is already kind
Well,
of dumb. But we
Root, you gotta
let
wait for
Snyder do
issue.
it.
You gotta wait for issue 10 of this Catwoman series, where they pull the swerve on you, and it's just Wildcat who's transitioned.
Yeah, I'd almost believe that. Well, it could be the female Wildcat.
I hate that you put that out into the world, Church. I hate you because I can't say it's not stupid enough. DC would do it. It is exactly stupid enough. DC would do it.
There's nothing stupid enough that they wouldn't do nowadays. In fact, the
So-
stupider the better for them.
Well, because
So-
remember, they introduced Cassandra Cain as Batwoman,
Mhm.
and then because they didn't know what to do with the fact she was mute, it wasn't selling anymore. They gave her voice back, and somehow having a voice takes away your fighting magic and makes you less capable to kick butt.
So
And
here's
actually,
the thing.
it was Batgirl, not Batwoman.
And this just occurred to me. So in Batman lore, there's Cassandra Cain, who was Batgirl and
Yep.
mute, right?
Yep.
And she was the daughter of David Cain, the feared assassin.
Yep.
Okay, but then there's also Batwoman, who is Catherine Cain of a completely different family lineage.
Yep.
That's related
So-
personally.
But how about we talk about a Catwoman and a Mysterio Woman that makes sense in Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man number 18.
Wait. Okay, sure.
So Peter and the family are living out in a remote place in an abandoned military base, and Harry Osborn comes to bring Peter back to New York, where they're going to fight the forces of the Kingpin and take the battle back to the Maker. Because we have to remind people that the Maker's the big bad of this new Ultimate Universe. And Uncle Ben, Jay Jonah, they tell Peter they're glad to help him, and they're going to help Mary Jane hide the kids. Except there's a problem. The problem is Peter's son Richard, who we're going to get to in a moment, because the Council of Mysterios decide they're all in on going against the Maker. Although some of the members of the Council of Mysterios were willing to sit in the shadows and plot and scheme a little bit more, but Gwen Stacy said, "Nah, fuck that shit. we're gonna push forward and we're gonna beat this guy." The new Otto Octavius finds out Peter's secret identity. He's not happy with it, but he has to live with it. As we see scenes of him attacking the Shocker, attacking Hammerhead, attacking the Jackal, like you do in a Spider-Man comic. Spider-Man going around fighting bad guys, doing Spider-Man things. But his son Richard has been having a flirtatious relationship with Catwoman. Now, the Catwoman in this Ultimate Universe is 17, and Richard is 15. So they've been having a very intense relationship over text messaging. And Catwoman says, Felicia says she's in real trouble. She needs his help. But Peter's son has the original Spider-Man suit from the Ultimate Universe, which is a Picotech suit. I hate Picotech. I hate everything about it. And so the new Venom decides to help his master go with his girlfriend, right? And he breaks into the Kingpin's thing, and I'm going to read the dialogue. Felicia Hardy's standing in front of the fireplace. She goes, "Hey." And Venom is going, "Oh man, I'm really happy to see you. Not as happy as I am, as we are to see you." He cusses out the Kingpin, and he should, because he's an asshole. The Black Cat's father, who's the tarantula, corrects him on his language. And Kingpin says, "Listen, you revealed shit about yourself to your girlfriend you weren't supposed to, and I'm going to blackmail you into betraying Spider-Man, who I don't know is your father yet." And Richard goes to Felicia, says, "How could you? I thought, were you lying about us? No. Then why would you do this? Isn't this obvious? It's my nature." This comic book has the first version of Black Cat that I actually like, because she's a terrible criminal degenerate who does bad things to advantage herself, including betraying Spider-Man to get a personal advantage. I like everything about this portrayal of Black Cat. And again, the Hickman Spider-Man run for Ultimate Spider-Man, I still recommend it. Of course,
the original one. Yeah, I really like the original.
No. This the new Ultimate Spider-Man. The new Ultimate Spider-Man's pretty good. And then there's the Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, because we have to bring Miles Morales into this for some reason. And
because he's originally from the Ultimate Universe.
Yes, but this isn't the original Ultimate Universe. This is the fan fiction universe that the Maker made.
Okay.
And then Aurora and Black Panther tell Miles Morales' baby sister about what's going on. Meanwhile, Wasp and Ant-Man are driving Miles around to explain what's going on in the New World. And Miles is kind of grumpy about all of this. And he gains a nickname. He's the Spider-Man of New Jersey. That's a nickname he now gains because of this in the Ultimate Comics.
I'd rather be the Spider-Man of, I don't know, the landfill, the Spider-Man of Portland. Hell, I'd rather be the Spider-Man of Flint, Michigan than the Spider-Man of New Jersey.
Yeah. And
Spider-Man of Detroit.
You would think if you're going to be a Spider-Man of any other city, let's make it a little bit further away from New York than New Jersey. You know?
Where did Ben Reilly go when he was Spider-Man?
Texas.
I think no, he was in New York, wasn't he?
No, Spider-Man was in New York. Well,
he was, but then he moved to Houston.
But, well, that's... So, I meant the Scarlet Spider, not...
Well, Peter Parker.
That's... Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right.
The Scarlet Spider went west.
Look, we know where Ben Reilly ultimately ended up, and that's called the trash bin, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, I like Ben
And
Riley.
The hoodie as the costume, the morph suit and the hoodie, that was really good.
And Ben Riley as a character was actually pretty good. Like, he had a good personality. They actually,
Mhm.
committed to the bit. The problem was all the Clone Wars stuff around him was no good.
What are you talking about? The
So-
Jackal was an amazing character.
Yes, but
Amazingly bad.
was it really worth that many episodes?
So, we also have the latest from Titan Comics, Conan the Barbarian. I'm almost 2 years deep into that comic book.
And you're
when we
still
la-
reading it.
I am still reading it
Well, that's a
because
good sign.
it's exactly what you're expecting from a Conan comic book. When we last left Conan, he was in a slave pit in Stygia, trying
Wait a
to.
minute. Before you get into this deep dive, I'm gonna hijack us for just a second. Are you saying that all people want out of a Conan story is Conan to be wearing tidy fur pajamas, swinging swords, killing monsters, and getting chicks?
Yes.
Okay, so now, like I said, I'm hijacking. So here's the question: why is that bad when all we want out of Blade is for him to wear leather outfits and kill vampires?
It's not.
But Kevin Feige says it is.
Yes.
For
Because
anyone that
Kevin
doesn't
Feige-
know, Kevin Feige made a comment today or recently in an interview where he says the reason that it has taken them an inordinate amount of time to do a new Blade movie after losing multiple directors and their star is because, quote, we didn't just want to put a leather outfit on him and have him start killing vampires. To which everyone and his uncle has said, isn't that what Blade is the fuck about? Pardon my French.
that was what the Star wanted to do as well.
Right. It's easy. Why can't they just do it easy? Why do they have to make it hard for themselves?
Well, you know what? I can go with, okay, who the heck cares what he's wearing as long as he's wearing something. Yeah, sure, leather's nice. But it is about him killing vampires.
I will grant you could put Blade in a bright green banana hammock and have him kill vampires, and we'd go with it. I'm just saying.
Speak for yourself on that one. I would not go with it. I would be.
I don't want to see it, but if there's some reason to have it happen in the film, I'm not going to complain if Blade is blading.
So, back to Conan. Conan, when we last left him, was in a Stygian slave pit and forced to go through gladiatorial combat. And he fights a dude, and Conan stabs a dude with a blade through the back of his head, with the blade coming out of the dude's mouth.
Little extreme.
But I mean, this is Conan.
On brand, yeah.
And Conan reveals that he is lying about his name because he is hiding out as a gladiatorial pit slave to get some information on the Stygians, find some stuff out. And I like this because we often forget Conan isn't dumb. Conan is willing to suffer indignities to achieve greater goals.
He puts on the thinking helmet instead of the murder helmet.
Exactly.
You know what would be a good book? King Conan versus the Maestro.
That would be interesting.
No. There's every tool is there to maybe be good, but you've already tanked the well because some Marveloid is either going to make it world building and totally screw up what needs to simply be a grudge match, right? Or they're going to try and make it some level of pretension so that everyone has a good showing. When the fact of the matter is, we don't want a good showing. We want to see, we want to see Conan kick the Maestro's ass.
You make it a double-sized what if book, and you set it on Doom's Battle World when the Maestro's territory.
But Conan wins. I mean, there's no question.
Yeah, absolutely. And Conan takes over the Maestro's territory in
Right.
Battle World and this
Right.
What If. Yeah.
And you could even have the Maestro escape and be plotting revenge. But the fact of the matter is that it's not.
No, you have him exiled beyond the
Yeah, there you
wall
go.
where
There
he
you
has
go.
to fight Ultrons and Marvel zombies.
Right, but either way, ultimately, it's not a story that you can do halfsies or with respect of like no, you put Conan in that situation, you have Conan his way to victory. It's a
And
very
he has
simple
to
story.
he has to fail in his first outing. He has to fight
Of course,
Right.
that's the
and lose and then come back Rocky style.
Right.
yeah. Well, that's the
Mhm.
typical formula for comic books, or used to be.
And you might even have Maestro break his back, a la Batman. Just pay homage to that.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I think it's suddenly have Conan encounter the Maestro, get his shit kicked in by the Maestro, get thrown into the fighting pits for the Maestro's amusement, have to fight his way up, bad guy versus bad guy until he and the Maestro get a rematch, and then Conan owns face because that's how you do that.
So, in this scheme of the comic, Conan,
Yes, in this actual comic that actually exists.
Conan fights his way up, becomes a successful gladiator, gets one of his other friends who's been hiding as a slave, but she, being a woman, is a little concerned. Slavery's not as good for her as it is for Conan because Conan's murdering faces. But then he is forced to confront some friends of his who don't want to fight him. And Conan's like, "Listen, bro, if you don't do this, you're going to die as cowards, and that's dishonorable, and I can't do that to you." So Conan murders his friends so they don't die as cowards. And then we see a replica of the famous Conan scene from the movie, with Conan sitting in a serene Buddhist pose in the heart of a Stygian party. And of course, his owner decides she's going to have sex with him. And this is the time in which Conan says, "No, I'm done pretending to be a slave now." He attempts to murder her and kidnap her. But of course, she's a sorceress, so she does witchcraft on him, as is the case often with Conan. But Conan's sheer willpower and anger is sufficient for him to shake off the witchcraft. But one of his friends from the Black Kingdom has come to rescue him and murder the Stygian witch.
That doesn't sound like that was part of his plan, though.
It wasn't part of his plan, but it ended up working out.
He rolls with it.
Exactly. So I definitely recommend the Conan comic book. You should buy it. It's been a good, solid comic book for 2 years.
Are there trades?
Yes, there are trades. And the company that's publishing it, Titan Comics, which is jointly owned by the company that owns all the rights of the Howard Estate, is also publishing copies of the old black and white Savage Sword of Conan stuff from time to time.
So I have to actually ask a really weird question. How's it doing in terms of market share? Like, is Titan on the rise, or are they just doing okay in their little bubble?
They're doing okay, grinding out Conan. And I personally think the intent of this is to build up a new Conan brand that once all the other people who hold IP rights are done slap fighting each other, they can leverage their position. And that's my opinion of what their business strategy is.
Well, that's why I asked, because it's like, if you've been reading this for 2 years and it's consistently good and it's consistently making money, because we assume that if you like it, other people like it, right?
Yeah.
Then Titan, the publisher, should be ascending, or at least slowly gaining momentum compared to larger established companies that are floundering hard and are on external life support.
Yeah, well, I'd say the question is, what will they bring out next? After Conan, can they get the rights to?
Well, there's enough Conan that they don't have to have an answer to that question for another 40 years.
Exactly.
Well, it's
Exactly.
all right. Well, let me expand it out then. How much of this rides on the success or failure of the Red Sonja movie that is coming soon?
I don't think so. It does, but they have some other comic books that are out there.
Well,
Some of them that
hold on. Let's not gloss over the question. Rune, we're talking about a movie with a assumingly well endowed young lady dressed in scant more than a red bikini and some armor ringlets, right?
Well, I mean,
That's
they
the movie
actually.
we're going to be talking about.
I mean, they actually seem to be leaning in that direction, like they're gonna follow through on that. Yeah.
So I think that movie's going to do just fine. I think it's going to do just fine, Rune.
Well, well,
so
the thing is, it's not Howard. It is clearly inspired by Marvel and their
yes.
distaff. Uh,
Yeah,
but
they could have her dress accurately, but a horrible script.
but yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Is that it looks the part, but we only have a trailer to go by, and I'm still like very cautious about
Mhm.
enthusiasm because a lot of people I know are jumping on the bandwagon. Oh my god, this is gonna be amazing! It's like, guys, do you not look at other movies that this could be bad?
It could be.
And
Church, could you?
I'm just concerned that if a Howard based property, even if it's not following Howard's mold, fails and fails loudly, that it might derail other Howard properties from going forward.
But Church, if you could pull up the website for Titan Comics, they have the license to do the Zack Snyder Rebel Moon comics. We're not gonna hold that against them. They have some indie comic looking stuff here. They are.
Sorry, I was
they're-
going to ask. Speaking of Howard, though, are we going to find a little bit of time to talk about why you say men will die for this today? Because
Well,
that's also
interestingly enough, they also do a Solomon Kane book.
nice.
So they've been doing Solomon Kane. They have one called The Girl Called Cthulhu. I don't know what this is all about, but I'm interested. They also do some publishing of comics, some manga as comics. They have a Blade Runner tie-in comic that they're doing. And they have like several like graphic novel Conans that are in the pipeline. They have the right to reprint some of the old Marvel Comics Conan stuff. They doing a Dead Space comic. They're doing an Elric. They're doing a RuneScape.
It looks like a Simpsons one. There's some peanuts.
Yeah, yeah. So they got some stuff going on. So
If this Heat Seeker, Dope Man, and Girl Called Cthulhu are any indications, I think the Red Sonja movie is going to be just fine.
yeah, but I recommend the Conan book. I strongly recommend it. I still recommend Hickman's Spider-Man book. So long as they're focusing on Spider-Man and not the rest of Hickman's world building, it's a good time.
Hey, you shut your whore mouth.
I mean, look. Just like every so often, Hickman goes off into his little headspace, and it's lots of a good
Yes,
time.
and it's always amazing how we got East of West. We pretend the gala thing never happened with the X-Men, okay? I give you that.
Well, I mean, he was actually out of the X-Men by that point. He had
Yeah, but he set it up,
deviated.
and I still kind of blame him for it.
Yeah. So I feel like this is a good point to wrap it up. We talked a lot about comics today.
We did. We
Yeah.
talked a lot about comics. We talked a lot about the Canadian Shield available here at this particular link right here. So everybody go check that out. We went through the tier list. Some really good stuff going on there. We've got a roadmap to the future of the universe of the Canadian Shield, and I feel like we had a good time, but
Yeah.
we all probably have to go to work tomorrow.
But you know,
So-
you know what we're not going to have a good time about with church next week?
What's that?
The Fantastic Four movie.
Hey, did you know that I'm probably going to have to miss next week's show because I have AIDS?
Well, I mean,
I just found this out this very second.
it's
My AIDS is
rare-
going to cause me to miss this show.
Well, I won't be seeing Fantastic Four till Tuesday after next week's show.
I will not either. As soon as Pedro Pascal threw up the Four Horsemen 4, I was out. I was willing to give it a chance up to that point, but you start fucking with my boy Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, and that's
Well,
how
hold
you get the spine buster.
Well, hold up. But what if we do a version of the Fantastic Four where Reed is Ric Flair? Where
What
Ben
if we did a
Grimm
version of
is
the
Arn Anderson?
Fantastic Four where the Four Horsemen of WCW went into outer space and got cosmic powers?
That'd be a
Ugh.
unique what if story.
Ric Flair would obviously be the Human Torch. Woo.
So, Larry, since
Arn
since
Anderson is Ben Grimm.
Since Ayrton is not here, I believe it is on me to say good night, everybody.
That's
Hold
the
on, I haven't
rule.
decided. I haven't decided who's going to be the Invisible Girl yet. Chris Benoit or Dean Malenko.
I mean,
Oh, God.
Margo McMichael, obviously.
Ric Flair.
Mongo like
He goes,
candy.
"Woo!"
No, he's the Human Torch with his woo.
Yeah, but
Anyway, good night, everybody.
there's a woman with her. Woo!
The woo powder makes him